is Tyra's outfits were garbage.
God. Trash, garbage,
just
fire.
Dumpster fire
on, girl.
of Tool. It just, not good. Hated it.
Not good.
She seemed a little too preppy today. I don't know.
She was like, Jeannie Mai's in the hospital, and she's gonna tell us all about
her story from the hospital.
We're like, we get it.
Yeah, she's in the hospital,
and we really hope she gets better.
We do.
That's really scary. I read that it was like a inflammatory disease. What did they say? She had an abscess?
Yeah, she had an abscess. They said she had an abscess on her throat that was affecting
everything. It blocked her airway.
It was blocking her airway, but what you had read is that she had some sort of infection in her lungs. But regardless, Jeannie Mai is out of the competition. Yeah. We wish her well. We hope that everything is okay with her and she heals. So, totally. With that being said, the first people that went were Caitlin and Artem. They did a jive. Jive is one of my favorites. They did the Don't Stop Me Now, which is an epic song. I loved the content. I thought the choreo was awesome. But there's just still something missing from her. There's just still something. I did feel like she was a little bit more
I agree. It seemed like she was having more fun with it and a little bit more loosey-goosey, but she was
anything, you know? With her sugar pushes and her kickball changes. And
sugar push, you gotta look that up. Do you remember Tyra when she said that?
Oh, she was on one. Yeah, she was just on one.
She was. Do you remember her saying that?
I do.
She was like, everybody, go to the Google machine and type in sugar push or whatever she said. And I was like, girl, you're being really aggressive.
Yeah, she's too aggressive.
Kind of like I am right now.
I just felt like she needs a little bit more energy. There's just something sort of lackluster about her.
I agree.
Yeah. I gave it an 8. The judges gave it an 8.98.
I said exactly. I said 999 or 899, and it was an 898.
Yeah.
But roughly all the same, because they feel the same way we feel.
It's week 8.
Yeah.
You gotta start bringing it. You gotta start showing us different layers, and I haven't seen a single layer besides the Bachelorette layer.
Totally.
Caitlyn. So something needs to change. Neve and Jenna, they're so good. Love them. He
did start off a little.
He felt like he was leaning forward, his butt was out when he was in hold. But he's so charming. He's charismatic.
Yeah. He was digging on the fall, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah. But I loved the choreo.
Why did he do that?
I don't know, and I feel like he's never really done that before.
He's never done something like that.
So for him to be so weird and
I feel like something was going on with him.
Yeah, maybe something was going on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anything could have been happening. They got
they got straight nines.
They got straight nines. So they still got.
It's hard
in week 8. Week 8 is when they start being cutthroat.
Yeah.
They are you suck.
Well, and I was gonna say that it is hard. He got a perfect score last week, so it's hard coming off that because you want to continue to do better, and usually when you get when the person gets 30, usually the next week they kind of go back down to 9. They forget yeah. So, but they'll be back next week. I mean, they're gonna win.
Hopefully, that's the hope.
I think they're gonna win.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna win.
They're hands down the best.
Well, yeah, hands down. They're superior.
Justina and Sasha, I hated the song. I just feel like Justina had no stamina, no energy.
She's so fun to watch. It's so funny because she's so fun to watch, and her face was there. And if I was just watching her face, I would be like, oh yeah, she's giving it her all. But watching her whole performance, she lacked the stamina for it.
Yeah, she did lack the stamina. I felt like when she was doing her grapevines in hold, she was really far away from Sasha.
I agree.
She how last week she just felt out of control with the sachets. Her arms pop. I just felt something about that in this dance, where she sort of threw her body without just letting it placing it where it needed to be.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just what I felt like.
Yeah,
she was fun to watch.
She was throwing her arm, but I said fun to watch, but I didn't like the dance at all. I just wish something else would come along and kind of bump her up because she started off so well and I was so excited, and I think I wrote down that she's my what's her name?
Vanessa, yeah.
She's my Vanessa.
So I gave it a 9.
Yeah, what did I give it? I gave it 9s, and she got 9s.
She got straight 9s. Okay, Nelly, Daniela, Roomba. This was definitely,
Okay, they had shit against them because their song was.
The choreo didn't match the vibe.
That's exactly what it was.
He did this whole beautiful package about his sister, and
she pulled a pita.
Yeah, and then I just felt like the dance was like this really sexy, like, or trying to be sexy. But then he was
wearing like these fun geeky glasses.
Yeah, and like it didn't feel like a dedication to his sister at all. So like that always throws me because I feel like they do tend to put the packages along with the theme of the dance.
I agree.
So when the choreographer goes against the package to choreograph a dance, it just weirds me out. It's just like, you wouldn't dance with your sister like that. So I don't know. Yeah. It just feels weird. It just feels weird. It didn't feel like a tribute.
And he didn't do much.
And he stood there like he really didn't put in that much effort. He had no hip action.
Yeah, exactly.
He has been working. You can tell he's really been working on his upper body because he was
getting some like
loosey-goosey shoulders.
You could tell he was really focused on his.
He was really focused on his arms, which is important.
Feet.
Yeah, but his feet are so flat. He's just like, whoop, 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 whoop. Like,
he's so fun though.
But I do love watching him.
He's fun to watch. But
But it wasn't.
He wasn't in the bottom 2. And
no.
I
really thought he was going to be in the bottom 2.
Yeah.
My bottom 2 was Chriselle and Nelly.
Yeah.
And, well, we'll see what happens there.
But you know what? I like watching Nelly, so I'm good for another week with him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's really fun
But after week 9, he just doesn't have the it to, like...
Yeah, because there's like a top 4 usually.
Exactly.
No, we need to go to having a top 3, and we know who gets 3rd place, we know who gets 2nd place, we know who gets 1st place, because I'm tired of
the bullshit.
Of 4 couples.
4 couples, and then only one person like wins. So
and you don't know where any of the
who
other
was second, who was 3rd, why is there a 4th place? It doesn't make any sense. So I hate that. So we gave it 7s. The judges gave it straight 7s.
Yes.
Chriselle and Glenn. Chriselle ended up going home tonight.
Yeah, but she went home on a great performance for her.
Yeah, that performance was pretty. There was moments where she really broke out. I mean, they did
her face was there.
Her acting was superb. It was fun. The choreo was fun. There was just no. I felt like there was no waltz. I felt like there was no content.
Yeah.
It felt like a freestyle.
This dance, and there was another dance.
Yeah,
I wrote
can't
it
remember
down.
what dance it was.
AJ's.
It just felt like freestyle.
That didn't feel like they had any content of their dance in there. And I was watching it and I was like, oh, this is really good. But then when the judges were like, well, really? And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
There wasn't any content.
Transitions are they just look really choppy. Like she goes, it's almost like cheerleadery. Like she goes from like one move to the next.
Yeah.
Without like really connecting them. But I do feel like within the movements, she was a little bit more graceful.
Yeah.
I could see that she was
for her to go
working at it. But it was a good one for her to go home.
Because nothing's worse than when you go home on like a bad note, and it's like, she seemed like she was really happy with her scores. I'm sad she went home, but she's good. She's good.
She was not the best dancer, so it was time for her to go home. I gave it an 8. She got straight 8s.
Yes. Sky.
Oh God. Well, first. They never used to do this. They never used to do the scores like after a commercial. And like the first time they did it, it seemed like a mistake. And the second time they did it, it seemed like a mistake. And then the third and fourth time they did it, it's like, is this a gimmick? And then it's obviously a gimmick now that it's happened so many times, and it just feels like, no, you're better than that. You don't have to be so cheap. Like, and it's all fucking Tyra Banks. We all know whose fault it is.
We were saying we need to fill more time with more, instead of having Tyra talk and it being all awkward, they need to give the judges a little bit more time. They need to do more packages with Len, like talking about the dances that they're doing. And they need to do more of those packages like they did on Halloween and stuff, or and make it fun, do fun videos.
Like you said, all these people have Instagram and TikTok, and they do reels.
Instagrams, like reels, like they could do something really clever.
Yeah.
Like give them an hour, for whatever to... Whatever, be creative. It's
just we understand why they can't do like the big group dance numbers and they like bring in guest artists. Like we get it. But at the end of the day, you have to allot that time to something because that's part of the magic of Dancing with the Stars. Yeah. And is like seeing all that.
Exactly. And they could do like bigger packages of their life, like if if I could have heard more about Nellie's sister and like the foundation or whatever they started, that'd be really cool. And interesting to know about. Jeannie Mai's life would be really more interesting to hear about from the horse's mouth, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Johnny Weir and the ice skating and the growing up, like all of the, I would say that all of these contestants have pretty rich backstories.
Exactly.
That I would personally like to know a little bit more of.
Instead of filling the time with awkward space, you can fill the time with actual good content.
Yeah, I agree.
Who are their creative directors? I'm so confused. Oh, it's Tyra. Oh my god, I'm just being such a bitch. I'm so sorry. Okay,
so next Sky and Alan wins. Sky was in the bottom 2, which I've always wanted because I don't think she's good at all. But I never thought she'd be in because of her fan base. But hey, maybe we're wrong. Maybe her fan base really isn't that strong.
That's true. I heard that she had the most Instagram followers. And I know they're being really heavy on Instagram this year. Yeah. Like, I never used to see anything. And now all of a sudden,
it's Instagram.
And their stories are all those little tiny dots where you're like, okay, yes, I am going to watch this. And waste an hour of my life. But
the choreo and the tricks were awesome, no doubt about it. But I just felt like she was so aggressive to the point where like she was like falling out of the dance.
She's always being thrown around.
Yeah, and like she would do, like when she did the cartwheel lift, like it was like Alan rather, like picked her up and put her down instead of her like actively doing.
He literally looks like that. He's like
the lift, like, and we get it. She's tiny. She's easy to throw in the air.
Totally.
But you cannot hide behind tricks.
You cannot hide behind tricks.
And she's hiding behind tricks.
100% she is. They did so many tricks. They did so many tricks to the point it was like, it felt clowny.
Yeah, I felt a little Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't mean like clown, like red nose, like.
No, I know what you meant.
Yeah, you know.
It's just like you can't hide behind the tricks. Like, we get it. She's tiny and you can lift her up in the air. But just because you can throw somebody in the air doesn't mean that she's a good dancer. And there was not enough content to see if she was a good dancer. And guess what? We all know that she's not a good dancer. She's just not.
100%.
I gave her an 8. She got an 8.98. Yeah. So I don't think I'm being that mean because I've been pretty on par with the judges.
I gave her 8s. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next is Johnny and Britt.
This was the music.
This was the music. And I even said in the middle of the dance, I was like, the music is
stompy.
Is very stompy. The music is very stompy because Johnny Weir was stomping through the foxtrot, stomping through the foxtrot. And then Carrie Ann was like, well, it was an artistic choice. But to me, you can't start making artistic choices like that until I know that you actually can dance. Like if Derek Huff was doing a foxtrot and he was like, he choreographed a stomping motion into it, I'd be like, oh, what an interesting choice, Derek. Like, that's a really cool artistic choice. I understand you're making that choice because I've seen you do the foxtrot 1,000 times and I know you know how to do a proper foxtrot. But I've never seen Johnny do a proper foxtrot. So I don't know if he really can do a proper foxtrot.
And I don't know if I've seen him do anything, like, I don't know if I know he can dance, but I don't know if he can dance.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's something that I'm just missing from him that I feel like he does get a little robbed on. I feel like with like the music choices they give him.
Yeah.
I think I've been hard on him, but I think that even the people that I've been hard on, a lot of it has to do with
the music, the set, the costumes. Like
it is all different. I don't feel like it used to be like that. There was always a time here or there where I'd be like, they're doing this with this song or you know whatever. But this year it's been consistent.
It's been consistent. Like
almost every single song is.
It just does, even if it's a good song, it doesn't go with the style of dance, even in an artistic way. Because I love like a good artsy song to like a different style of dance, but it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
So I gave it an 8. And he got straight 9s.
Yeah, I did 8s. And I got straight 9s. Maybe I was getting a little hard on them.
So next it was AJ and Cheryl. They also did a Roomba.
Oh.
Yeah. I loved the choreo, but the judges were right. Like, as intense as the story was and how I feel like Cheryl and AJ both got across that intensity in the dance.
Yeah. I loved watching the performance.
Exactly. I loved watching the performance, but technically it wasn't there. There really wasn't any content.
Well, that's what the other one we said felt like kind of like a freestyle.
Yeah, he never finished his lines. Like, it felt very choppy, which once again, I feel like maybe was like sort of supposed to be an artistic choice, but it didn't really read. I felt like he was very stompy. So
I agree, but I said 8s, they got all 8s.
Yeah, I said that too.
I still liked watching it.
Oh no, I loved watching it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was but it's week 8.
Exactly.
You gotta get into the actual technique now. Like, you can't, like, at the end of the day, like, charisma only gets you so far.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I feel like everybody's like, I mean,
besides Sky, I feel like pretty much everybody's on the same playing field.
Right.
Yeah, same playing field. I would say best performers are Neve, obviously. Yeah. Oh, we gotta take Jenny off.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. She's not here anymore. I'd say performing-wise, Neve and Nelly are hands down the best.
Right.
But Neve's a way better dancer. AJ's a pretty good performer. Can't perform to save her life. Can't perform to save her life.
And she's just falling flat.
And she's falling flat. So I don't really know.
They all have their good strengths and they all have
their bad strengths. So next,
their bad strengths.
Their bad strengths. So next, a brand new thing that I've never seen them do.
I liked it, but they did not explain it very well.
They did not explain it. We're sitting here,
the judges were like,
"What's happening?" Like, we were like, "How are they gonna do this if they're being judged and Jeannie's not in the competition anymore? Then how is it fair?" Like, they did not explain this new system at all, and we were like, "What is happening?" But it ended up being sort of cool. So they did relays. So they basically took one song and they got to do 30 seconds or something like that of the song first, second, third, and then they got bonus points up to 3 points. So
they weren't competing against each other.
Exactly, which I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like Neve wins, and it was going to be like, okay.
Exactly.
Sort of how they did group ones. But I did like this new setup. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So first was Nelly, Chriselle, and Neve. Neve obviously was the best one.
I agree.
It was fun, but it was like you could tell that they hadn't put in that much work to that dance as much as they put in for the first dance.
I agree. Chriselle was, kind of behind. It wasn't that great. She actually kind of flubbed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Nelly was fun to watch.
Nelly fucked up so many times.
He did, but he was
fun to watch. Yeah,
but Neve took that. Neve obviously took that.
He got 3 points. Chriselle and Nelly both got 2 bonus points.
And Carrie-Ann judged that one.
Yeah, Carrie-Ann judged that one. Next we had Johnny and Justine, and it was supposed to be Jeannie, but she obviously wasn't there. They did a Viennese waltz. Justina does this thing when she does ballroom dances, like soft dances, where she breaks her wrist instead of having a nice line all the way out. And so when she goes like this, it loses that elegance to me and becomes this sassy Viennese waltz.
Exactly.
I don't know. So that throws me off. The broken wrists throw me off a little bit. It was simple. There really wasn't energy. I felt like Johnny's was so much longer.
Johnny's, I barely remember Justina's. Johnny's felt so long. I was like,
did they take Jeannie's time?
Did he take?
That's what I'm saying. Is did they do their time plus Jeannie's time or something?
She definitely didn't. I felt like her song was 10 minutes. Maybe they just didn't have any. Maybe they did. I don't know.
I don't know what happened.
It was a weird breakup.
But he still felt pretty chompy on his feet. But he got 3 points, and she got 2.
Yeah.
And last but not least was AJ, Caitlin, and Sky. They did a samba. Ugh, I hate the samba. But AJ, it was literally an exact repeat of the last samba they did. So
I remember the choreography
vividly.
Right, but they do that a lot sometimes too when they do.
And I get dances. It. You're doing 2 dances, so you want
a lot to remember.
But AJ can do it.
Exactly. Give him a little bit more credit than doing the same thing
dance.
Over again.
Exactly. Caitlin, she had no hip action.
No hips.
Bruno loved all of it, so whatever. But I think Bruno also was feeling very rushed at the time.
Yeah.
So he was sort of okay, you did good, you did good, you did good.
Yeah, I wish she had a little bit more hip action.
But I felt like she had no hip action. And just, it
but
wasn't
I feel like she could.
She could have. I don't know why she did it. And then Sky, I was like so far away from Ellen. Like, I was like, it's okay. Like, she just looks like a child. I just can't get over it. I can't get over it.
Maybe Scott, maybe next week we'll, okay, do you think there'll be any more double eliminations? I mean, this one was supposed to be, but it wasn't because Jeannie.
No.
So no more. So like, who goes home next week? Do you think Sky?
I hope Sky goes home. But if Sky doesn't go home, then I think it's probably time for Nellie to go home.
Yeah.
And then after Nellie, I'm gonna say maybe Justina. And
it
then
depends if he brings it.
But I'm gonna say no. I don't know. Caitlin's not really giving me anything.
That's true.
But I'll probably say Justina, Johnny, Caitlin, AJ, Neve.
And they were in our top 3, right?
These were in our top 3.
Shut up.
Done. So, we'll see what happens. There's gonna be a lot more coming next week. There's gonna be more,
what is there gonna be?
There's gonna be, battle dances. There's gonna be a lot more battle dances, so it's getting really
it's Icon Week.
It's Icon Week, so I'm sure that
it'll be fun.
There'll be a Marilyn Monroe. There'll be like there'll be
those kind of things. Do like a whole bunch of different types of icons.
Yeah, whole different icons and.
Yay, this will be fun.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be really fun, and it's really starting to get to the nitty gritty.
Oh, if they're like in costumes, I'm not gonna like that.
Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe they could do something cool.
That's true.
You know,
I don't want them to be in hokey costumes.
Like if they did like an Andy Warhol like icon, like everything was like in like art pop colors.
That would be cool.
Like I don't know. There's a bunch of things they could do.
Okay, well I'll give them a chance. I haven't seen it yet.
Tyra Banks will have one of the people like dress up as Tyra Banks as an icon. I just died. She's so full of herself.
Good. I literally just wrote on this last page and said, I do not vibe with Tyra's energy. What did she do at the end? Because I was like...
Well, she rushed Bruno, and then she was, like, talking to the contestants.
Oh, and that's what I said, too. I was like, they don't give... Like, Tom used to be like, hey, say, you know, some few last words or whatever.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, sorry, bye, you're done. Like, let me just tell you what comes on Emergency 911. Let's listen to all the crazy stories.
Yeah, it just feels like one long like
just
commercial.
Give them a second to be like, thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Give them a second.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It is weird.
It's just weird.
So that is our recap for week 8. We hope you join us next week. It's going to get really saucy and crazy. And please check out the rest of our YouTube channel Thursday mornings, and we'll see you next week.
Eggs and Bakey.